Hello, it's Shane Willis. Welcome to this week's episode of How's the Market, Pensacola. Middle of September. We had a little bit of coolness come in the air the other morning when I was running. I was like, wait, it's cool here. That's nice. And they say we're going to have a little bit more coming very, very soon. We will see. It is Florida, so I know some of you around the country are like, you don't know cold. And you're right. Ever since I got out of the military, where they sent me to a snowy Missouri and a very snowy Korea, then they asked me to re-enlist, and I said, what part of I'm from Florida did you not hear the first time around? They said, give me 3 more years, we'll see you to Hawaii. I did that, and I have thawed out ever since, so I don't do snow, although my wife and I have been talking about going skiing for once. I think I've skied one time in my life, and it was cross-country, and I was a teenager. I don't think I've skied downhill at all, ever. But it's Florida, and we're not here to talk about my vacation plans. We're here to talk about real estate. Let's go. My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and don't need no permission. I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth? All right, so if you've been watching the show a little bit, you know that I'm trying out different softwares. I think this is the one we're going to go with. I work on a Mac, and this seems to be ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow seems to work out really, really well. So that's what we're going to try the next couple episodes, and hopefully that'll actually work out. But as I always do, I always start out every episode. For those of you who have not seen any of the episodes, you'll know what we're talking about. I started out with this slide right here. If we have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, it's considered a neutral market. Anything greater than 7 months is considered a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 months is considered a seller's market. And like I say every week, if you have less than 3 months, it's a hyper seller's market. If you have more than 9 months, it's a hyper buyer's market. Why do I bring that up? Because we have all of them. We have all of them in both counties. So let's jump over to the county. I got some water here. Let's jump over to the counties and see where we're at. This one is Escambia County as of today, September 15th, 2019. Excuse me. If you notice the 0 to 50, there's less than 1 month's inventory, but the number has actually gone up some. Because if you remember, what was it, a month and a half, 2 months ago, there were zero. But the appetite there is just seriously strong. So for those of you, this is your first show. These are your lists priced over here, and on the right is your month's inventory. That's why I show that initial slide saying what it is, a buyer's market or a seller's market. Looks like everything under 300,000 in Escambia County this week is considered a hyper seller's market, with everything under 450 being at least a seller's market. So a lot of properties out there. Again, you've got, if you look at the 2 to 250 mark in Escambia County, there's 212 active properties as I talk today. But it's only 2.3 months worth of inventory because the appetite for this is still really, really, really strong. As we get closer to October, I'm going to see that probably jump even more because we're going to start to see some military moves. I always see an uptick in October just because of the military moves. That's the beginning of the new fiscal year. So we have a lot of governmental employees, military, etc., that wind up getting moved. It looks like anything under 450 is considered a seller's market or a hyper seller's market. Now 450 to 650, the report shows that as a neutral market. But if you remember, it said anything over 7 months is considered a buyer's market. So between 450 and 600, that's 7 or 7 months better. So that's almost a buyer's market, but not quite enough. I always get a little hesitant to call that a buyer's market. But, you know, like the 550 to 600, you got 24 properties, but only 5 under contract. So there's not as much of an appetite for that. So if you're a seller in that price point, you've got to be willing to negotiate. And this one this right here, you look at this is always fascinating because I've got listings in both of these, right? And that 450 mark is considered a buyer's market. We'll call it a buyer's market. It's slightly right above a neutral, but we're going to say it's a buyer's market. But the 400 to 450 or 449,999 is a hyper seller's, or almost a hyper seller. Excuse me. It's not under 3, but it is a seller's market. So you got buyer's market, seller's market, and that's a 50,000 point break point. So that one's actually strange to me because, like I said, I've got one at 450 right now. It's had a lot of showings, but not as much of an appetite. But then I have one at 420 that, you know, had a ton of showings and went under contract fairly quickly. So, and to just go on, just for anybody looking, 650 plus is a hyper buyer's market. If you're buying the ultra luxury right now, it's definitely a buyer's market. So sellers definitely need to be able to, A, differentiate in that price point, and B, be willing to negotiate. And buyers can probably get a few things done off a price and some terms. You can probably get some more favorable terms if you want to. In those price points, these don't have to negotiate much as a seller. So I had a buyer buying one. We've looked at a couple of properties, and it's been in between this 3 and 350 mark, right? And they've been wanting 10 or 15% off, and they're just not getting it. And I told them, I said, we're not going to get that at this price point at this point in time. Now, if we jump in the DeLorean and go back about 5 years, and you're talking 3 to 350, sure, we could have got 10% off. It's a different market now. That's why I try to do this show every week. So that's Escambia County. Let's jump over to Santa Rosa County, see what we got. Santa Rosa County, look at the red. Man, are you kidding me? Everything under 500,000 in Santa Rosa County is a hyper seller's market. Look at that, 2.5. There's not even 3 months on any of these. And the 100 to 150, less than a month. 0 to 50, there's one thing, and I bet you it's a lot. All right, and the only reason it's in that category is because it's listed at $49,900. It really is listed at $49,900. If they would have listed it at $50,000, we'd have had nothing here. 200 to 250, 1.8. It's just nothing. And even this little bubble right here, I've noticed some of the builders taking some of the stuff off. If you remember or watched the show for the last couple of weeks, at 3 to 350 was always bumped up over 3 months worth of inventory. Well, I'm seeing some of the builders take some of that stuff off the MLS, so we're starting to see a true number here. Everything under $500,000 in Santa Rosa County is a hyper seller's market. So understand, sellers don't have to negotiate much. I was kind of shocked. I had a separate client I was working with over in Santa Rosa County, and we got to a point where the buyer was offering them 98.7% of what they were asking. 98.7% of what they were asking. This property's been on the market for, 102, 103 days, something like that. And we offered them 98 point, and the seller didn't take it. They just didn't take it. And the buyer at that point was frustrated and too competitive and walked away. Wound up spending the exact same money buying a new build. But man, we were really close. But that just goes to show you the mentality right now. If you're a buyer in Santa Rosa County under $500,000, you need to understand we've got competition. There's less inventory and more buyers. There's more appetite, especially over there. The 2 to 250, I say there's not inventory. There's 136 active right now. We've got properties, but we also got 133 under contract. And the way the appetite's gobbling it up, if we don't get new inventory within the next 2 months, we will be out of inventory. So if you've got anything you're looking to liquidate in Santa Rosa County, or you're even considering selling in Santa Rosa County under $500,000, call me. All right, we can talk, because there's some different plans right now, and we can be pretty aggressive with pricing. Finishing up the report though, $500,000 to $600,000, pretty much a neutral. Look at this. This is interesting. There's not in Santa Rosa County. You know what though? I would argue that this should be blue. The 650 to 700 should be blue. That's a buyer's market. 8.3 months is a buyer's market. You're creeping up to a hyper buyer's market. But if you look at the report, the way this report reads right now, it says everything in Santa Rosa County, to and include 700 plus, is either a neutral or seller's market. Everything. Like I said, I would think this one price point is probably a buyer's market. You can be a little more aggressive. List to sell ratio is still at 98% though. It's 98%. And so that's incredible. I think that's one of the first times I've seen in a while to where I see absolutely zero blue on one of these reports. Zero blue. So that's it. That's the market right now. We've got, I think because of September, we've started to see people pull the properties off the market, because there's a lot of people that want to buy during the summer. But I'll be honest, my buyers' appetites are still huge, and I've got buyers pre-approved just looking, can't find something. So if you're looking to liquidate in either county, or if you're even considering selling, I mean, like next 12 months, I think I've said this the last couple of shows, I've been getting calls left and right about next spring or next February or even next summer. Okay, let's talk now so we can come up with a game plan to get that done. But there's the market for you. I try and do this show just to give you raw data. And so at least now you know that can make a better decision for you and yours. If you haven't liked the page, do so. If you're seeing this on YouTube, go like the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Shane Willis, the Realtor. I'm putting out some good stuff over there to include some comedy every once in a while. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, guys.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there, and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth.
On a mission.
Don't you just want the truth?